Luxair Jets is excited to announce the new, most convenient way to fly nonstop from Lexington to historic Saratoga Springs throughout the racing meet. We are now offering exclusive group packages on our luxurious private jets. Each package offers a once-in-a-lifetime experience that you can share with your friends, family, or business partners. Call for pricing and availability.
And as promised yesterday, my guest today on the Saratoga Report, brought to you by Luxair Jets, my colleague David Grening. He's been working his butt off the entire meet and still going at it today. Glad I was able to sneak him away for about 3 or 4 minutes here to talk to you folks about some of the stuff that happened this morning and some of the stuff that's going to happen on Sunday's card. We're going to start with the two major works that took place here today, one over at Oklahoma, one on the main track there for next week's Travers. We had Gervin at the crack of dawn, maybe even a little before the crack of dawn over at Oklahoma. Dave was over there for that, and then cloud computing. Very important work today on the main track after the break. Dave, talk to us about Gervin. He went pretty quick. Did you like it?
It was a solid move, Mike. He was actually prompted. So a lot of times you'll see these horses start behind one, the so-called big horse, start behind the workmate and then go by him. This was a little bit different. Gervin started in front, was sort of prompted along a little bit by the workmate, who was a 3-year-old by the name of Line Judge. Stakes type of horse, hasn't necessarily captured one yet, but he kind of forced Gervin along around 35 and change, and then Gervin still had enough with which to finish and came home in 24 and change for a 59 and 4 work. There was no gallop out. That was maybe a little disconcerting, but I mean, you go 59 and 4, 3 weeks after the Haskell, I think you're in fine shape. He's bounced back from the Derby situation to run 2 very solid races. He's a major player in the Travers, no doubt, I don't think.
It's amazing you see the different theories the trainers have going into races. Now, he worked 59 and 4 this morning, prompted along to have a fast work, and then we see a lot of other maintenance works a week out. A lot of the other trainers have their major or their fast work 2 weeks out. So, everybody has a different way of getting there, so we'll see whose way is going to be the best. And one way this morning was cloud computing for Chad Brown. This was the work that was going to probably help him make his final decision on whether cloud computing was going to run or not. He had Javier Castellano aboard. He had no workmate. He went an easy 5/8 really in 101 and change. He finished up. I thought the best part of the work was the gallop out. He galloped out terrifically, very strong into and around the turn. You talked to Chad later. What was his thoughts?
Well, Chad liked the work. He likes everything about this horse coming into the race except the last race. And the last race was run on this racetrack. He ran last in the Jim Dandy. It's not Chad's MO to run a horse back off a bad race over the track in which he had the bad race. But it is the Travers. This is his area where he'd love to win this race more than any race. The horse is giving him all the right signs.
And it's a different track, too.
And the track has changed. It was deep, demanding last time. He was coming in off about a 10-week layoff from the Preakness to the Jim Dandy, and as much as you think you can do with a horse in between that time, it doesn't simulate a race. I thought Always Dreaming had the same issue. He was coming in off a similar, the exact same layoff, actually, and he failed to fire as well. There were 2 heads separated those 2 horses. Wasn't the right track for them that day. I think he runs. He's just stopped short of committing to running. I think he needs the owner to sort of just tell him let's go and he'll go, or tell him let's not go. And it really isn't, to me, a better option. Yeah, you had the Pennsylvania Derby in 4 weeks, but guess what? You'll be going into that race off an 8 to 9 week layoff. So what's the point? I think he runs. His work today I thought was solid enough. I agree with you. The gallop out was the best part. Plus, you get Javier Castellano and somebody else doesn't.
So he and Todd, the Derby winner, the Preakness winner, kind of in the same boat. And if everything goes right, though, we're going to have all 3 Triple Crown winners. And this is the first time in, 100 years or whatever?
1982 was the last time all 3 separate, when there were 3 winners of the 3 Triple Crown races. 1982 was the last time that happened.
This is going to be one wide open betting race. Who do you think is going to be the morning light favorite? You think it's going to be the Derby favorite? You think it's going to be someone with a little better recent form? Tough decision to make here for our track line maker.
It is a tough. I don't want to be Travis Stone in this spot. I'm going to take a stab, and I'll say the post-time favorite. I don't know who I don't want to read Travis's mind. I'll say it's going to be Good Samaritan at $4.40 to 1, just because his race here was very good. You got Bill Mott, the Hall of Fame trainer there. I'm going to say that it's going to be Good Samaritan, but I could be dead wrong.
Post position could matter too in a big field, as there's going to be about 13 of them. Maybe those drawn outside might not get bet as readily. I'm going to go with West Coast and Bob Baffert. Why not? I think he's going to get a lot of play as well. One more potential Travers starter that did work today. It wasn't here. IRAP. You talked to Doug O'Neill?
Doug O'Neill, IRAP, worked at Del Mar, 6 furlongs, 113, worked with a filly, the graded stakes winning filly, Shane's girlfriend. He went in 113, she went in 113-1. He liked the work a lot. He thinks this horse mentally has caught up to where he was physically. He was a big horse, didn't have it all together around the Derby time, thought maybe a 20-horse field and all the goings on around the Derby, sloppy track. He's putting a line through it. The horse has come back to win in Ohio. He's the primary horse. He's won in Ohio, he's won in Indiana, now he's coming to New York, and he's a dangerous player. His numbers are good. His last 2 races, his sheet numbers, from what people tell me who read the sheets, are very good, and he's a dangerous player here.
A couple more works that today we'll take quick hits. Practical Joke, I loved him. He went the half in 48 and a couple, finishing under a death grip. Is he going to be in the King's Bishop or what?
Yeah, the
Alan Jerkins.
Yeah, he'll be in the Alan Jerkins. This was an important work for this horse today, Mike, because he skipped a work last week. When I asked Chad about that, he said he thought the Haskell took a little bit more out of him than he initially had expected it to. So he's only coming in into this race off 1 work, but as you said, and you watched it closely, it was a solid move today. He was happy enough with it to declare him a go for the H. Alan Jerkins.
A couple of specials on the grass at Oklahoma too late this morning. Hunter O'Reilly and Time in Motion. You were there. What'd you think?
Yeah, Hunter O'Reilly, an easy half mile. Jimmy Toner liked the way he went. Time in Motion, a little bit more serious move with Johnny Velasquez up 49 and change. I think I had. She's going in the Boston Spa. What he likes, here's Jimmy's theory about maybe getting Time in Motion back to where she was. He said last year he spent a lot of time chasing Catch a Glimpse and having to have Johnny put the horse into the race and maybe take away her finishing kick. He's thinking now without a horse like Catch a Glimpse and maybe just a moderate pace with maybe a contested pace, she can sit back and come with a run. That's her preferred style. That's what she'll try in the Boston Spa. She's got to try and outfoot Lady Eli. Good luck.
Look real quick at tomorrow's feature, or Sunday's feature. It's the Summer Colony. We're going to lose one in there. You reported Going for Broke, going to the personal ensign.
Yeah, Chad Brown wanted to run Going for Broke in the Summer Colony because he thought it was a way to get a stakes win and avoid Songbird. The owner said, let's try Songbird. Her last race wasn't so great. It's a grade 1. If we get grade 1 place, it means a lot more to me than winning the Summer Colony. So you take the favorite out of the race, and really, Mike, it opens this race up a lot. There wasn't any speed in the race to begin with. So Going for Broke certainly didn't have it. Verve's Tail, coming out of some disappointing efforts in grade 1s, has the rail. She looks like the speed. Interesting horse in here who I kind of overlooked the first time when I wrote this advance was Romantic Vision. Her last race was terrible, the Fleur-de-Lis. Rusty Arnold really doesn't have a good enough excuse for it, other than to suggest that the race was run at night and maybe she just didn't handle that surroundings. But her race 2 back, second in the grade 1 La Troyenne, that's good enough to win this race. I'll put my money there.
That's the Summer Colony on Sunday, and then we'll move through the end of the weekend. And as we get closer to the Travers, the draw for the Travers is going to be Tuesday night downtown here. The public welcome, or do you need an invitation for that?
I think you need an invitation. Salt and Char. I think the public's going to have to pay their own freight if they go there.
So very important post position draw then, and Dave will be there to cover it for you, as he will be covering everything this week. Travers and everything else related right here at DRF.com, and hopefully we'll have him again later in the week for the Saratoga Report as we take a closer look at the main event of the 2017 Saratoga meet.